Man, go ahead and drop it. Go ahead and drop the intro, Jelani, man. You already had it, man.
Oh, yo. Y'all tuning in to the Notion podcast. I'm your host, Jelani Evans, with my co-host,
Dizzy D Spill.
Farmer Poe.
What's going on, man? How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. What's up? What's up with you?
Man, chilling, you know. Got the fall collection drop going right now, so.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta check that out. Y'all check that out. That fall collection. There's some unique things you can do to customize your hoodie and things of that nature.
Oh, yeah, logos and whatnot. Oh, yeah, matter of fact, I don't know if you got any left. I know you be selling out. I think I need an olive beanie from you, bro.
Yes, I do.
Asking about that.
Yeah. I got some of those.
Coordinate with because the colors available is olive, maroon, golden, sand, and I think that's it. Oh, and chocolate.
Yeah.
So I got a nice olive one with the dark brown logo. I need a beanie.
What's up, bro?
I see you.
What's up?
All right.
Yeah.
I think
That's the heather.
Yeah.
the olive heather.
The olive
to
heather.
be specific.
Yeah.
You talking about that's the owner exclusive shirt.
Yeah.
No.
Front of the
Those are
barcode.
actually on the site.
That's the olive heather.
That one?
joint?
This is on the site.
Nah,
It's on the site.
you silently dropped that.
Yeah.
Then.
He just
'Cause I
silently
don't-
dropped it right here.
Yeah, I don't.
Right?
Yeah, I'm finna go to the site
look,
right now.
look
I
where
can't
you
wait.
put the chain at.
I can't wait.
Look where you put the chain.
I can't wait until you see the photography. It's all over it's all on the IG. It's on the website. Yeah, these been out. The owner, you're thinking of that Boston Celtics green. That's owner exclusive.
And you got a purple one.
And the
too.
purple is exclusive.
Yeah, I see
It's
you.
exclusive.
I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to the website right now. I'm gonna look.
Yeah, it's there.
I
man.
would, but my phone over there.
Yeah.
It's right there. So, send me a text.
man.
I gotta ask, and this might be a thing every now and then. So y'all gonna have to be patient with us when I ask these questions. Y'all gotta tell me about the fashion. You know, I mean, Jelani, you could tell them. I kind of understand what's going on here with the kicks and sneakers.
Sean, what you
what
doing?
the half and half cut and sew, the
Right.
two-tone joint
Do your
to
thing.
match the
Sean.
kicks.
Oh,
That's a
Sean right there. on
Yeah,
the-
stop playing with them.
Candy though.
Stop playing
Yeah,
with
them
them.
patent leather joints. That's
That's
all it
candy.
is, man. When I was doing the cut and sew sweaters, it was actually customized to match specific kicks. Like when I did the tie dye and this one half
Yeah.
and half, because the kicks is half and half. It just makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he got the low with the low.
Yeah.
Coordinate.
Yeah, you gotta coordinate. What you got going on, Paul? What's the inspiration, man?
Oh man, inspiration is throwback, restoring vibes. you know.
Farmer vibes.
The overalls, we bringing that back.
Yeah, it's like you got the overalls, you got the thermal.
Man. Yeah, the thermal. We bring it that
That
season.
really is
It's
like
a real thermal,
It's-
though.
that's
This is
a
a
real
real thermal.
throwback.
Yeah.
I really went to the mall looking for one of these.
Nah, you gotta go to a Walmart or a Target or somewhere.
But
You're
look,
not gonna
that's
just.
the thin ones.
Yeah, he has like
This
the
is a thicker one.
real
Them the thin
the
ones
ones
that,
our
like-
parents wore.
Yeah.
They parents wore.
This ain't no Long John though.
It's no Long John Silver's.
Nah, it's not a onesie.
It's not a onesie. It's not a onesie.
He said he got a Joe.
Yeah.
It's not
So
a
you
John.
got
It's
the
a
overall,
Joe.
you got-
the overall go from the ankles to
You
the
got two
shoulder.
buttons
and
back
the
here.
thermal goes from top to bottom.
Nah, I
and
don't got two buttons back.
He said
here.
he ain't got the trailer door back there, man. What
My
was
God,
it?
fully
The
undressed.
tailgate door.
My guy fully undressing to use the restroom. That's wild.
You was that kid in school, huh?
Hey, you going to
Hey,
the
I learned my
bathroom?
lesson. You learned your lesson one time in school about pulling your pants down to piss.
Hey, bro, you go to
Real.
the bathroom and see that one kid that just everything's out.
Up.
And he got tidy whities there
Yeah.
around his ankles, and he's comfortable.
Tons.
Yeah.
Like yo. I
Yeah.
ain't even gotta go no more.
And he act like he don't hear you. He act like you talking about somebody else. He interact like you talking so.
And he'll go and
He
tell
looking
the
around like you talking about somebody else. What's
and
going
he
on?
gonna tell the teacher
who
on
did
you.
it? Yeah.
He not gonna take the lesson and learn like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do that. He gonna go tell the teacher.
He
on
taught us about HR. He went and told on you.
That's the same nigga that's standing next to you in the bathroom stall right now.
That's Karen.
There's 5 open stalls and that nigga come stand right next to you. That's the same nigga.
That's Karen's son,
Yeah.
Carl.
Yo, I had a nigga try to talk to me. Like,
In the bathroom, you. That's a no. Yeah, yo.
Yeah, hey, no,
No talking in
bare
the
bottom.
bathroom.
Not bare bottom, you
my
don't.
nigga tried to talk to me, my nigga.
Bear bottle. There's nothing to discuss, sir.
I really was about to go
I don't even
call the
want to talk
police.
to you when we leave.
I almost called the police. That's against the rules, sir.
Yeah, you can't do that in the
that's not
bathroom,
part of
man.
bathroom
That's not
etiquette.
how I go. I see you got some jewelry on, man. You tell us about you got some jewelry.
fine.
Yeah, y'all got
Yes,
some jewelry. Talk to me.
I know.
Oh, yeah. This is
beads.
This is a new one right here though. This is I got this from the site Thrifty. It's a gold and green. It says grow from it. And then this one right here,
That's the Soul Stone, right? From Avengers?
it damn near look like it. This one right here, I couldn't tell you what none of these stones are. I actually like them just based on what they look like, and they say that's really a good reason to actually like them is the whatever it attracts you to them.
Right.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I got this at a vending event.
The Avengers event?
Afro Soko.
Feel it?
I got it from the Afro Soko, and then these was made by Benita. Yeah, she made these.
Okay.
These are from
Those
Mr.
are the
Garden.
Wakanda beads that
This is
T'Challa
Mr.
had
Garden.
when he. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is Mr. Garden. So, yeah, these were the one I purchased, and then one was she hooked me up for my birthday. So that was for
That's
sure.
why
Coordination. I see it. I see Jelani. He got.
Mine's is a chakra.
Okay.
I mean, and tiger eye, and opal. The thing about it is, I forgot the name of this one specifically, but it was bought for me for my birthday recently. So kind of caught me off guard.
We actually got the same exact one. It's not the exact same one, but it's the same style. Like you have the
The
all
chakras and the black.
Yo, it's good to see that people really love y'all because both of y'all got one of those for y'all birthday.
It has all of them.
Yeah, that's solid.
So I did back there, couldn't have them but yeah, try to make it flow.
For sure.
I
I thought
got
it was like at first I was like, oh, you trying to make the planets? Like that's what I
Yo, I was
like, that's
I
the
like. Yo,
planetary
how much for the solar system?
Yeah, that's the solar system.
But you know what though? I will say this: these two right here came from my young friend, Accessories by Ava. You feel me? So
Okay.
she be having the beads and you wear Crocs. She be having Croc charms and
not
she
no
do
more.
Crocs. Oh, what happened?
Yeah,
You slip and fall in the farm and change your
the
life.
Crocs. Yeah, don't.
He was getting ate up by them
Actually-
crocodiles, huh?
My man Joe, the Uggs. You got to get the Uggs if you want to scuffle in some house feet attire.
Bro, I mean,
You know what? I
Joe was in the
did have
Uggs.
some house
But the
shoes that the wife.
all-terrains. You got to get the all-terrain.
No, I don't.
Uggs.
Yeah,
That's-
the
that-
off roads. I
you
don't
gotta
have
have the
those.
bottom-
I had the house shoes.
The bottom look like you could climb the
The
side
wife
of a
got me
mountain.
some house shoes.
See,
Like
all
that.
right, you did something kind of rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, you shouldn't be outside in anything that can be deemed a house shoe or slipper because that is not only is that bad etiquette, right? You never know what might happen outside.
That's
and
a lesson learned.
I don't even
That's
mean
a
a
lesson
fight.
learned.
What somebody started shooting out in the grocery? Oh, what you mean
But
you
look.
out asparagus and they have a shootout and you try to run
But
and
look.
you slip because you came in there
I
comfortable.
wasn't planning on I was in the vehicle. I didn't plan on getting out the vehicle. Like I had to get out the vehicle.
You left the house in house shoes. That's wild. That's what
the
I'm
kid-
saying.
But see, I got confused because I see everybody
said
wearing
these are
Crocs.
house
I don't see
side
nobody wearing
shoes.
Crocs in the house. I see them wearing Crocs.
You don't
at
see
the
everybody
mall.
wearing
I see them wearing
overalls,
Crocs.
but here you go. So stop trying to be like everybody else, my G.
I learned that. That was a lesson learned. That was.
He
but
said
look, let me
he
just
coming
give it to
out with some.
you. This was, I think, in 2020. So let me
House
just
side
say
shoes.
That the atmosphere.
I'm pushing
like,
that.
The way, like people was thinking.
Did you say
we
the
weren't-
atmosphere?
We weren't thinking
way-
like ourselves.
You take us to NASA?
we weren't.
The way
thinking,
of the world at the time
We weren't
was
thinking
real
like ourselves.
relaxed. I was.
it was real relaxed.
I was.
because I was.
I don't do.
I
house
was
shoes
working
stay in
at
the
home,
house, bro. House shoes stay in the house. I got a pair of slippers.
Yeah,
the only time they go
I
outside
told you
is to check the mail.
you
he
ever-
decided to
Did
call
you
them
put on
house
a pair
side
of
shoes.
2020
man.
Crocs?
I've never worn Crocs. I
didn't
am.
even- I
There's
put
a
my
year?
foot on them.
I am against Crocs for me.
I'm
Anybody
against
else,
them too.
you do what you want.
I'm against
but
them too.
I
am for surely
I am
against them.
against Crocs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm already against house shoes.
See,
outside
that's
the
why I
house.
said I dress in the overall, so I'm prepared for the moment. Anything could pop up. Somebody, anything can happen.
I mean,
so
like-
you have to be.
I thought you was watching Sandlot in the part when James Earl Jones came out. You was like, yo, them is fire. And you decided to get some coveralls. That's what I thought.
He said, "I'm prepared for anything." Like he got a shotgun.
yo,
I just look, pull out
You
the
wanna,
side.
my man went to art like, yo, y'all got the Mr. Myrtles?
Look, there's a pocket here, there's a pocket there. You can put a lot of things here.
Do you got
That's
a
just
blade?
the chest
Do you got
area.
a blade in any of them?
Not yet. Not yet.
So what did you
Not
prepare
yet.
for?
He got the
I
pitchfork
had
in
to
the
see
trunk.
if these was like
Let me
if they
pop the
if
trunk
you
on
could
y'all.
move in them practically.
Who's dude on The Simpsons that had the overalls and the pitchfork? Was swole
Willie?
as hell? Was it Willie?
Willie?
Yeah.
Bro
Brett
just said these overalls are a test run. I don't even know what to make from that. I don't.
But you got to think, man, if he do get into it out here and they like, yo, do he got on overalls? He must know something. You know what? You got it, dog.
Get
You got it.
snatched up by the
Get
straps.
into it with
You
a
better
nigga.
shut up.
Hey, no, you get into it with a nigga and he throw up thieves like this. He got
Yeah.
overalls on. You might want to go ahead and rethink that. Like this, come on, sucker.
Who am I fighting? Popeye? What's going on, man?
Yo, what happened with that incident? Nothing. He started talking about fisticuffs, and I let him have
Yeah.
it.
Yo.
Oh,
That's
man.
madness, man. Well,
Crazy.
I'm going to just get into it, dog.
Let's talk about it.
D1, for y'all
Football.
that don't know.
Nah, hoop.
Are you talking sports right now?
Hoop.
Gotcha. Volleyball. D1 volleyball is... No, I'm just...
See how he
We didn't
spiked
talk
it?
about that.
See how he spiked
That's
it?
for the Patreon, bro.
Yeah.
That's for the Patreon episode. When you talk about D1 volleyball and softball.
You're not allowed to no more volleyball games, man. Nah, D1 is a... I want to say a former...
Former rapper?
rapper of a sort.
I think he's still making.
I think he...
I'm assuming he's still making.
What I'm
music.
saying, former is the type of music he would make. I don't think he can... I think he switched up a little bit.
Okay, so he's even more. His content is
Yeah.
more in line with who he is outside of music.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
went from villain to hero.
Yeah. And he did an interview and he started calling out the type of music that's still being made and perpetuated. That he's not the first and the only. There's other people that said something about it being toxic, and the drugs that are glorified in the music and the violence that's glorified in the music. And he actually started naming artists, which I do respect, because we live in a time where either people are overly sensitive or they're giving you so much of a subliminal, you don't even know if they're talking about you in the moment, right?
Right.
So he got straight to the point, and there were people that did not take too well to that, like Rick Ross. I think Jim Jones was pretty upset.
Well, he specifically called out Rick Ross and Meek Mill.
Yeah.
So that they were upset. Granted, because whatever the opinion they had, but also because he singled them out. They just recently dropped a project, and the song, the music and the content for the single especially is talking about hits and crimes and things of that nature. And so right now it's just a conversation about whether or not there's a true separation between art and the work or that we do outside of music, that they do outside of the art, or whether or not there is some type of gray area in regards to whether somebody can say this in the art and then be this totally maybe opposite of their content, be that type of person outside the music. Like,
Well, he was. I swear, I feel like when you say that, the best example is Meek Mill, which is somebody he called out because Meek Mill is the face of criminal reform.
is he the face?
I mean, that's what was said.
That's
right.
That's what he.
I'm not
presents
deeming
himself
him as that. That's
For sure.
okay. So
All right.
that's what was being said. Like, you're the-
Self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed.
Well, D1 acknowledged him as that as well, saying, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, you're the face of criminal reform, but yeah, you're still over here making criminalistic
Kim
music,
Kardashian
right?
would be the one, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a face of criminal reform, and then you got a whole album talking about shooting, you know what I'm saying, hits and, you know, taking, it's I don't know, because I don't listen to McMills, I'm just going off. But it's just like, how can you speak of, like, criminalistic acts and be the face of criminal reform? Like, it's, like, contradictive. Like, people look at what you're doing outside of rap and then listen to your lyrics and be like,
What's going on here?
Well,
yeah, it's confusing, I guess you can say.
I think
Yeah.
in hip hop, for a lot of artists, they feel like as though hip hop is singled out in that regards. But I understand the difference. For me, someone said Denzel plays whatever character in whatever movie he is, and then outside of that, he's Denzel he's not that character. But for music,
I've made that debate before as an artist.
We use music is more in line with our everyday life,
but it's also the soundtrack of a lot of bad things that happen, and depending on how you feeling.
Yeah, so Meek, you are. I think what D1 is saying is like you're a person who is influencing kids, and your music is used as a soundtrack for certain types of feelings, emotions, and behavior. And so, because you saying that you're trying to be the face of criminal reform or criminal justice, whatever it is, there's a contradiction because you're still a huge impact and influence to these kids to use your music as a soundtrack to commit certain types of crimes or have certain types of behavior, because that's most of what your content is about. You do got a lot of songs that are more uplifting and talking about pain and things like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the music is you talking about committing the crimes from that perspective. And so a lot of these kids are slapping at playing that type of music. And so how do you get these kids to understand that you are not only an artist and there's a separation between that, but how also do you get them to consciously, as a child, adolescent who really isn't able to at that age to discern the fact that the music is their soundtrack, and that how do you get what I'm saying? Like, how do they understand that
it's just music?
It is just music, but a lot of these kids sometimes they
but you're saying how do they
understand that it's just
how do
music?
it's just music and there's no more tied into it, like, because at the end of the day you would think like with a lot of rappers at an earlier date they were like hood reporters. And what I mean by that is they're rapping the lyrics of what they're seeing in the hood on a daily basis, what they've gone through, what their friends have gone through, things that they have experienced on a major level, right?
NWA called it reality raps before West Coast changed it to gangster rap.
Right. And so the thing about it is like, I'm rapping my reality. Yep. I'm rapping what I see. I'm rapping what I know, what I've been engaged in, what I've been turned on to, what I have seen walking these streets where I reside, because and I said hood reporter because a lot of stuff that happens in the hood per se is not being reported on news channels. And then if it does, it's of the nature where it's extremely negative, extremely violent, you know what I'm saying, and it's discouraging people from wanting to even be engaged or involved with these areas that ultimately need help.
I remember Jay-Z said on Ignorant Shit, the song Scarface the movie
did more than Scarface the rapper to me.
Right.
But and I explain for all the shit
that happened to me. Yeah. I mean, we can go with it. But I thought that was powerful because I have used Training Day and Denzel as a debate as an artist plenty of times when the conversation has came up. And I think, honestly, hip-hop is just the easy target. I think rap music is just the easy target to say that, it's the music, and this is the music. There's people that's watched Scarface way more times than they've listened to a song. Goodfellas, Godfather, Blow. These are all movies where it has murder, where it has crime, where it has drugs, where it has all of these different things. And it's crazy how a group of people or individuals can say, the type of music. But what about these movies? Even if it's based on a true story, who says that we need to know the story? There's a whole show called Narcos on Netflix. And guess what? Guess what all these rappers are rapping about? Them. They're rapping about Nas, Escobar, Beanie Siegel. These are all mobsters, different names and stuff like that. Ironically, you don't hear rappers taking names of popular criminals like that. Not too much. Like, you have Rick Ross, right? But, there's no rapper out there named Tuki and all that other stuff. So even some of the hip-hop influence in the type of crimes and stuff, it comes from different ethnic backgrounds and cultures that they've seen, that they've witnessed or understood, and they may have seen somebody emulate that stuff, but not quite to that level.
Well, I think hip hop is, it's the easy target to me because, and I agree, because it's the perfect storm.
Yeah. So
movies, definitely at that time, those movies that we're talking about, there was a period of time when those movies kind of were real prevalent in our lives,
right?
But because hip hop has a rhythm,
energy,
it's an energy. It utilizes the language in a way to which somebody can understand and sing along with it,
right.
And just the way it's all the different parts of it. I think make it the perfect storm and easily utilized in that way.
Right.
But I was just thinking when he was talking about, like, I forgot, there was something you mentioned and I just instantly thought of, like, games. So, like, remember back in the day, it used to be a lot of third-person shooter games.
Right.
So, like you saying, they speaking from you're seeing your environment, and you're speaking about things that you may have observed or someone else experienced.
Right.
And then now all of our games that they say are like extremely too realistic are like the first person shooters. Right. So now we're talking from this perspective of things that I actually did.
Right.
So I kind of saw some relation in that. I just was thinking, like, it's a correlation, kind of.
I do think that it is, but here's my thing. What D1 is saying is not wrong.
Let's get back to what
he's not wrong, and that's what everybody has to acknowledge. That's a part of this culture. He's not wrong what he's saying. He even was going back and forth with Lecrae, who's an actual Christian rapper, because he said himself that there should be a little bit ratchetness or whatever the case it is, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And D1 is like, "I come from the environment where that word is created. Ratchet means bad." So everything that D1 is saying, I can't argue with, because that's true. Because guess what? All of these rappers, children, live better lives than we lived when we were little kids. They're not raising their kids in the hood and teaching them, about game. A lot of their kids don't even know about, didn't until social media, know about certain lifestyles because they got their families away from it. And then, when it comes to our children consuming that music, it's our responsibility. You need to watch your kids and stuff like that in that nature. But that's not my point.
Yeah.
That's just a statement. My point is, if we're going to come for one, we got to come for all. We can't just be like, all right, the rappers and the stuff that you guys are putting out. Well, I seen a few years ago Lil Yachty on Target commercials. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of artists be involved in things that's reaching more demographics than just hip hop when their music sounds like this, that, and the third. So we can't start it poking at artists when there's so many people above the artists that's perpetuating it, that's targeting that type of music, and not really giving artists a chance to put different music out and promote it with the machine that they have behind it.
I think they're not doing that because it doesn't make money. It's all about monetization and how can you make a profit, right? And with that being said, like, think about a lot of female rappers out right now. Majority of them are doing what?
Sexual stuff.
Right, because sex sells, right? Mm-hmm. So the same thing with the males, right? If you're not talking ratchet and, gunplay and hood stuff, we don't really want to get behind you because we know for a fact that type of music does numbers. You want to get out here and be uplifting? Well, check this out, J. Cole. Nobody really cares about that. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, and what's crazy is J. Cole is a top tier lyricist.
I still think the machine, as an artist, I still think the machine is behind it, because when hip hop started, it didn't start out like that. There was a section. There was a section that talked about. There was a section that talked about street stuff, and it was okay because, like, hey, that's what they seen, but it didn't oversaturate the whole industry. It was just a part of it, right? For sure. And then it was some people that say, we need to go in this direction or that direction, because when you look at that time from the late 70s to the early 90s, it was a mix of music. It wasn't just one thing. And something shifted to make it just that one thing. And so now we're having the conversation, and it's kind of weird because the conversation is coming about with D1 and other people that are speaking out. Even Charleston White said something about rappers recently, and they're making it seem like it's always been this way. This is just a time.
Yeah.
But my thing is, though, is his point that I think he's focused more on the contradiction rather than trying to say he wants this part of hip hop removed. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's talking about the contradiction.
That'd be a contradiction in itself, wouldn't it? Because I get what you're saying. Like, how are you going to be the face of reform, but you're getting people in a position, getting people in the system?
Because
that's a valid point.
I disagree. I don't want ratchetness out of hip hop.
That's cool.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't want it like that. I don't.
You know what? I thought about something as we're having
don't
a
want it
conversation. It goes back to the last podcast that we did. It might have been the last one of the podcasts we did recently when we were talking about music isn't art anymore, and this ties into that because there's only one type of music that is saturated in the industry as far as rap goes, because it's not about so much the artistic value or the creativity as it is being able to monetize it and, you know what I'm saying, profit off it. Like, you know, that's really where it's at right now, because think about it, you talking about from the 70s to the 90s, think about how many different artists there was, because they were exercising their craft. They were showing how creative they could be and be artistic in that with the lyrics and the deliveries and the videos and all these things that held more weight back then. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to say this individual's name because I don't think he deserves any type of fame or credit, at least from me, but he has this song and he keeps saying the same thing over in a song, and it's like a freestyle, and I'm like, who is this clown? So I went to his page and he's really like a clown, bro. Like he just did another song with the exact same beat, and it's like there's no creativity in it. There isn't any substance to the lyrics, and the lyrics are minimal at that, but he is being hyped
because it's a vibe.
It's not though.
For us,
I'm gonna show you later, and you're gonna be like, "What the?" Because it's more about the antics. Yeah, the antics seem to get a lot more acknowledgement, right, and hyped up. That's where it's at right now. Like, yeah, okay, you can rap, that's cool, but can you be outlandish as well?
That's because they can't rap. That's why they're doing that.
That's what I'm saying.
They're doing that because they can't rap. But honestly, getting back to that D1, like, did you see the conversation he had with Turk?
No, I didn't.
Watch that conversation. I honestly was agreeing a lot with what Turk was saying. He was definitely talking about, you know, sometimes it's not necessarily the what you're saying, but how you're saying it and the delivery. But the examples that he was using and the perspective he had, I kind of agree with a lot of what he was saying. But also, what was my other point? Oh, back to parents, bro. Like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with artists having to have some responsibility to the youth or to anybody, but to the art or to themselves or whatever, because I think it has to do with the household. Because my parents, I always have to remember this, the only thing they didn't let me, like, there was no, as far as music, it was no stopping me from listening to music with cursing or nothing like that. Parental advisory, like nothing. Like, they let me listen to all that. And they also let me I watched the same movies as them. The only scenes I wasn't able to watch is maybe the sex scenes. Definitely the sex scenes up until a certain age. And I mean,
I was still watching. I just act like I was covering my eyes.
You see what I did?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm watching all that.
This one.
Yeah, I try to
the mummy raps.
I try to use the sound to give me a let me see what that sound like.
Oh, he going crazy.
But for real, like they a lot of people just didn't were often thrown off by that, because some of my friends who were like kids that got in trouble, their parents didn't let them listen to certain music or certain, like.
Well, see, the thing is though, like, all right, I understand, like, yeah, the parents in the household, but I mean, it's extremely hard to censor much of anything with all of the access that everybody, especially kids with iPads and iPhones and Androids have. Like, it's difficult unless you just, like, if you have to, like, how can I put this? It can't be a factor at a young age, right? You notice how a lot of people will give their kids the phone to let them do whatever, or give them an iPad to let them do whatever. So at a young age, you should be monitoring and censoring what it is that they're able to, because the thing about it is, like, if they're doing it at a young age, then they start to develop certain habits into what that they looking for, they're searching for, they listen to, and then it becomes an issue, right? But like, as a parent, like, it's kind of hard to censor once you have allowed for it, right?
So that brings back to my point of saying, that makes my point even more clear. I feel I've been there in this new age where the devices are difficult to like navigate.
Yeah.
is it easier or does it make more sense for me to teach my child how to navigate the world that they're going to inevitably go into and all of the different stimuli that will come at their way? Or am I going to attempt to try to protect them from having access to something that they eventually are going to have access to, and then not have the skills necessary or have learned at an early age how to navigate that? I think it makes more sense to definitely you want to censor some things, but I think trying to do that is hella hard. I'm there right now dealing with it with a young toddler child and a teenager. Like, this shit difficult. I thought it would. Coming from a household where my parents was
didn't
able
even
to do
exist.
that with me.
But see, that's it was
hard,
so much
bruh.
easier. Yes, it's hard because it's almost it's a learn as you go type thing, right? Because so many things have been introduced and developed since we were young that
things
now
that
play a major role in influencing, right, and holding the attention of the youth. So it's difficult.
This is what I say. I agree with Poe and I disagree with Poe. The part that I everything that you said, I agree with how hard it is to navigate. Like, there's things that are just going to be out of our hands and out of our control. But when it comes to you being a public figure, when it comes to you being somebody that can literally move people's intentions and thoughts, you have to be aware of that. And so what I'm trying to say is that, for example, when it comes to artists, when it comes to music, when it comes to fashion, when it comes to being trendsetters, which hip-hop is trendsetters in so many different ways, right? All I'm saying is you can do what you do. Just understand it comes with the job. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So if somebody wants to come out and be like, I don't like what Rick Ross said, or I don't like what Tupac said, or I don't like what Biggie said, or some of the things that they said, and this is why, we can't be like, well, oh, you can't say. Nah, they can say that, because at the end of the day, if you wouldn't want your kids to do that, right? If you wouldn't want your niece or nephew to do that and all of those different things, then you can't be like, well, nah, you can't do it. They're different or whatever the case, because we don't even know how they're going to develop or how they're going to turn out. But at that time being, you have to stand on something.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to stand on something. So I'm not saying, I agree with you. Don't take the ratchetness out. Teach your kids how to navigate. You know what I'm saying?
Don't take the ratchetness out for the kids. I want that content. That's for me.
And that's why we have so many different subgenres in hip hop, right? But what I'm saying, that's all I'm saying is that these artists, you can't get in, like, especially if you gangsters. And I'm looking at both cameras. You can't be no gangster. You can't be no gangster talking that gangster stuff, and then you're mad at a civilian, somebody that's on the sidewalks or on the street, and not even in the streets, have an opinion about your gangster life, right? You can't. You're not even worried about the right stuff. You're supposed to be worried about the streets, not the sidewalks. Just like people that's on the sidewalks shouldn't be worrying about what's going on in the streets. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it comes with the territory. And most people, real successful people, they really understand that. There's a lot of artists and entertainers.
The comments are going to come with the territory.
Yeah, it's going to come with the territory.
I agree.
And people disagreeing is going to come with the territory.
A response is going to come as well.
But there's also responsibility that comes with that territory.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what he's saying. Like, you have to, all right, you might not have asked to be a role model or somebody that people look up to, but once you become a celebrity in whatever lane or, you know what I'm saying, discipline that you're operating in, you have to understand that there are a whole lot of youth and maybe even older that want to do what you're doing, and they're looking up to you, and they're hanging on all of your words, and they're watching all of your movies, and they have your albums and whatnot. So at a certain point, you have to have the understanding, like, yo, I can affect millions, and that's a responsibility that you should take a little more to heart with how you're maneuvering. That's
I agree with that.
You know
100%.
what I'm saying? And it's like, and then you know, in the midst of this, you know what I thought about?
What's up?
The comments that your boy made about Drake, Joe Budden made about Drake, because at some point, bro, like, as you continue to grow older and developing, you're starting to do other things like operating criminal reform and all these other things. When will your music grow
Reflect
up
that.
and reflect your growth and your maturity, because you
Me
can't
still
be out
rapping
here
about the
talking about
same thing.
you can't be out here talking about moving through the streets and selling drugs,
Especially
and
when you're not
getting
moving through the streets.
Yeah,
You live in a great
bunny
neighborhood.
hopping. You over
And
there
that's-
bunny
and I-
hopping with what's the dude had you doing the
and that's what
bunny
I'm
hop?
saying.
What you
and that's
talking
and that's
about?
and so that's what I'm saying, right? You're,
you with billionaires, but you in the street.
so then it's another thing when
Hey,
you know what I'm
They
saying.
looking at me.
Your
You don't want them looking at you?
Yeah.
your music isn't reflecting your lifestyle, right? So then
Yeah.
it's like it hasn't matured. It's the same. Like I think I told you, I said, man, Pusha T he shouldn't make no more albums about moving weight, because
As talented as and I agree, because like as talented as he is, yeah, I would like to hear different stuff, and that's
But
a great example.
He did hit.
It's a great.
He did, and his music got more mature.
it has. It has.
It got more mature.
No, it has.
As far
His
as
last album was.
he elevated from being the street dealer. Now he like moving birds and shit. So you dress different, and he started moving a different.
He bought some fur.
Yeah, yeah.
He ain't out here gramming it no more. He got bricks.
Yeah.
The music's gonna
son.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But I do think that the responsibility aspect is something that does need to be addressed more in the industry, and I just, like I said, it comes with the territory. Don't get mad. You know what people are talking about. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I just think what was even more like, I don't mind that what D1 said. I don't even mind if they would have like disagreed with him. It was just that, like, from what I heard,
They kind of made his
they
point with the
started
way that they responded.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they could have taken it as like, oh, thanks for the advice, bro, or whatever. Like, they could have killed this game off a whole different, more mature way. But coming out, they called him basket head. And
That was crazy. Look, I'm gonna get to the basket head comment in a minute. But one thing that I will say, as far as in the influence, I'll give you an example.
Basket head.
In your lifetime, just raise your hand if you've ever slapped the shit out of somebody because of something they said. I have.
I'm not snitching.
Open hand. I've slapped the hell out of somebody for saying something or doing something out of pocket, right? And guess what? Did a mob of people come at us and destroy our character or anything? We got to live our life pretty comfortably after that, right?
I was a youth, I think. Yeah.
But we still did it, right?
Yeah.
Will Smith got to live that for the rest of his life. Why? Because of the
public
position he's in.
And he did it in public.
Because if he had did it behind closed doors, I think it would have been a little bit minimal. Yeah. Unless it was caught on tape or something like that, it still would have been on the low end, like, well, did it really happen or whatever the case is. But that's the power of being in a high position, a high profile individual. It comes with the territory. He understands that he has to live with that for the rest of his life. That's called humility. That's called awareness. In any other words you want to attach to it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with 100%. Don't take my comment as like I'm
like you're on Rick Ross's
on their side.
No, that's
but
how we're taking it.
I think when that happens, we also got to be aware that there is going to also be a response.
Now let's talk about that.
You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
talk about the responses.
The person does have a right to a response. I feel
the basket head comment I thought was funny in real time, but then
he caught an Envy straight,
and he's
still on Envy time, so he didn't know what was going on. Like, him and Envy been going back and forth for a minute, so like he might not be at the mature.
But somebody else called him Jim Jones called him a basket head.
Yeah, I heard that Jim Jones called him that. I didn't hear.
And then Sway was like, "Come on," because Sway remember his time, and so he was like, "Come on, dog,
don't do that,
don't do that."
But look, Jim, you relax. You relax. You can't use somebody else joking and just come in and say, yeah,
I thought you was gonna say something about him brushing his braids. What I was saying is that
his mama taught him how to tongue kiss, so I don't even want him talking to me. Like,
I'm gonna put it like this.
Public information.
I'm gonna put it like this. When it comes to
still on his Instagram page.
When it comes to that, when they're getting upset at a response, like, the crazy thing is D1 didn't come at him like
foul.
And this is something that I have a problem with industry artists. Even if you're a gangster or you're playing gangster, here's my problem. I don't like the extra aggression with certain individuals
for sure
versus other individuals.
Make you look lame, like the Funny Marco situation.
Yeah. I don't like stuff like that. And I think what's going to happen is one day they're going to come across a square that's edges is too sharp.
Yeah.
and they're not gonna know what to do, and they're gonna be out of shape.
Yeah, because Funny Marco stayed in character. He couldn't get out of character.
Yeah.
Because you doing the extra stuff. So you don't know how that man really be acting. Like,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he might be
And-
worried more about the bag.
And that was my point earlier about you're kind of adding to what D1 is talking about, because he didn't come at you ignorant. He just said your name attached to something that you really do. We can listen to any song, and then you nut up like that. It's like, see, that's what I'm talking about.
But like you said earlier, you said singled out certain artists. When there's a plethora of artists that are operating like that, why would you specifically call out these three individuals? See,
The head honchos of it all, yeah.
I wouldn't have said anything.
Well, I know you wouldn't have said anything.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
'cause
nothing.
it's not-
Like,
there's
the whole
nothing
thing
you can
about it
say.
is just like, you said what you said. That's how you feel. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I'm not gonna acknowledge it because I don't care.
You talking about the artist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Or-
okay, okay.
I
Or-
wouldn't have said something if I was D1.
He said what he said, right? Like, all right, for instance, I haven't heard what Rick Ross said verbally. All I know is that he responded. He put a comment on the post, and it said something about his new album dropping November 10th. The title of the album, November 10th. That's what he said. If he would have just left it right there, right? Because I
Yeah.
mean, like, I heard you said something, my new album dropping, and let it be that, and move on, right?
Right.
Now, Meek Mill responded in, I guess, a more positive way than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And they actually had some dialogue or whatnot.
Yeah.
What did he
and
say?
I don't know. I just, like I said, from what I heard, because
He actually responded. He actually thanked Meek Mill after that too.
D1 acknowledged it. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, the fact that we were on opposite sides and we could still converse respectfully and everything. So I guess they had dialogue, they talked about it or whatever, and then it's just like, and then you had other people be like negative in their response to him or whatever the case may be. I mean, at the end of the day, you see it bothered you because you acknowledged it, right?
Real. That's real.
Hey, say what you want to say, bro. I'm eating.
Exactly. I just think that we gotta, that part of the entertainment industry, they need to get out their feelings. There's so many things that you guys are talking about to be in your feelings about a comment so small with all the facts in the comment. And the man, if he was lying,
Right.
then I'll be like, you know what, you got to go in on him. And I listen to all of these guys that he named. You know, I have a favorite song from at least one favorite song out of their catalog. But at the end of the day, if somebody is speaking on something and they're not lying, what are you so tight about?
And it's
What are you so
comment
tight about?
Something that you put out publicly, therefore it's there for public
It's voluntary,
consumption,
exactly,
and for
criticism.
commentation and criticism.
Yeah. So
He didn't he didn't mention your character. He didn't say nothing about you as a man or personally. So
as a father, as a relative, and everything else, he spoke on your work. No different than a job evaluation, right?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you just got evaluated by somebody.
And I mean,
Get out
if
your
I'm not
feelings.
getting fired, I don't care about them.
Right. He ain't stopped.
I said,
That man
thank
didn't
you.
stop no money
Appreciate
coming
it.
in their pockets.
Might have added a few more dollars.
Right.
Yeah, to be honest.
Right.
Because they wasn't talking about nothing on that album.
As far as
Oh,
we're doing that. All right. As far as catching more hits, as far as that's concerned, Coileray and Angie Martinez did a sit down, which Coileray is Benzino's daughter,
She don't want
and
to be known by that. Now you keep pushing the same. She asked y'all to stop saying that.
oh, she did.
she
Okay.
didn't ask me nothing. I don't know.
My
her.
bad. Benzino's daughter sat down with Angie Martinez and did an interview. And Angie Martinez, hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Angie Martinez did something.
You are
She did something that I didn't like. And I understood where Benzino was coming from. She kind of like manipulated and baited the conversation in asking, like, you know, as far as, you know, your dad, you know, he has to kind of feel a way about, you know, your success and stuff like that.
She was leading the witness?
Yeah.
Gaslighting
Yeah.
a little bit?
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Leading the witness.
Leading the witness.
And so she spoke on that. And then Benzino got upset and said what he said online. And for me, it's not really about protecting Benzino or whatever, but it kind of brought this awareness of lately a lot of entertainers having this public dispute with their kids.
I mean, if
you know what I'm saying?
This might not even be the worst one. The worst one is...
Yeah, but it gave me a reminder, because I remember all of the ones like
Brian
with 50
McKnight.
and his, Brian McKnight and his kids, and 50 Cent and his son, and Master P and Lil Romeo. And there's, to me, it's weird. It's weirdo shit when it's online like that. And then number
Brian
two...
McKnight changed his name.
Number two, what's the other issue that I had with it? The other issue that I have is I don't like somebody that's on an OG level like Angie Martinez. You know better. You know what I'm saying?
Well, people Angie was the person that typically was able to speak to artists and get them to speak comfortably also about certain topics without necessarily being messy.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to watch the interview, so I don't know if Coileray had a negative response to it, or was it just Benzino? Was not?
Her response was corny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
like, because the whole thing about it is, like, in a sense, your response was your opinion, and you volunteered information that isn't necessarily true nor needed. Right? And so it's just kind of like, why would you even, like, first of all, why would you answer the question? Right? Secondly, if you are going to answer the question, why would you go that route with it?
So what was the specific question?
Well, I kind of said it, I guess summarized it or kind of mixed it up a little bit.
she was like, so what about your dad? He has to, like,
feel a little envious of.
Did she say envious?
It was to that. It was alluding to that point.
I feel some type of way about all of your success,
right? Versus how he turned out, and then that gave her the floor to be like, yeah, certain parts of my career I did feel like that, because my dad is the type of person to be like, I still got something to say. I want to, So she kind of confirmed that that's what the case was, and then Benzino felt the way like, man, I've always been supportive of you. Which
he said,
oh yeah, you got the files.
The fuck can I be envious towards someone I raised, nurtured, provided for, influenced, and loved very dearly?
I mean, that does happen.
This industry and the internet have completely messed up the minds of this young generation. So for me, like, I feel like I understand where he's coming from, and I'm gonna say that leading to this, right? Because I have a question for y'all, right? As parents, do you not want your children to be better than you?
Yes.
Sure. And I've never met a parent who didn't want their seed to be better than them, to supersede them, to grow above them. Whatever you've done, you want your children to stand on your shoulders, to be able to do more, right? So in that aspect, thinking like that, knowing that from all the parents I've ever encountered, to sit up here and be like, yeah, my dad was envious of me. Really? I feel like he put you in position to do everything.
That's
that
what
you're
I'm saying.
doing.
Like
he's
the lifestyle
behind
provided.
the scenes, because he's like, yes, I'm glad that you taking this and you're running with it and you're doing more and you're on a big level now and you're not even in my pockets anymore. You have your own money. Life is great, right?
Because I think I see the envy that I definitely agree that most parents, you would think that it'd be inept in them to want their child to be better than them. But we can't deny that there are people out there who have a relationship with their parent, and where the parent is in a competition with the child or envious of the child. But typically what I've seen or what I've observed in those aspects has been mother and daughter, father and son.
I want to raise my hand. Can I raise my hand?
100%, bro.
I want to raise my hand. I got a point. Usually when we see that, though, it's on an average everyday level, like us. People like us, where sometimes parents...
Yeah, nigga, what's wrong with this nigga?
Parents...
I said average, like us.
This nigga, you act like it's a failing grade.
When he did he did like that.
Yeah,
us, like
average.
Like a participation award.
Are those Gucci overalls?
He said y'all.
Or are those average overalls?
He said y'all and Simon.
These are farmer overalls.
Yeah, thank you. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with this nigga?
Carrot Killers first edition. No, what I'm saying though, is the everyday person, instead of average, the everyday person, that's more of a conversation that's more common, because the things that people's kids have access to versus them, and you can hear it, and sometimes it's unintentional jealousy. Like, man, I remember back in the day we didn't have all of this, that, and the other. That could be a form of envy and jealousy.
I mean, on a deeper level, where the daughter and the mom might be funking, like, because the mom is hating on the daughter and what maybe she looks a certain.
But common. That's common in our world. But when we talk about the entertainment, when we talk about the entertainment world, it's laughable when I hear children of celebrities say that their parents are envious of them.
That would make even more sense to me why it would be a deeper level of envy in that aspect, because the parent may feel as though they don't have it anymore, and because the child, or they eclipsed them, or they didn't even get to make it through the door, and now the child is getting through doors.
Bro, they've been acknowledging her as Benzino's daughter. She hasn't eclipsed yet. No, but check it out though. But this is what I mean. He was in hip hop for 40 years. He had a magazine, right? Yeah. Source. He's done all these different types of things.
But what's his personal success? Like, what does he think is his white? Because what we as observers are saying, he's successful already. So why he tripping? Why would he be tripping? But maybe that's not really in what he felt. He got to the success.
I think it's easy. I think the times that we live in, it's easy for people to say when they hear any criticism or any disagreement, you're jealous. And the reason,
for sure.
The reason why, and I never thought I would see today when I would defend Benzino for some of the things, is all the things that I've witnessed since I've seen Benzino. I'm not saying
that he hating either.
But what I am saying is that there's not too many offsprings that surpass the parent in the industries. There's some that's happened, but there's not many. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of the ones. I'll give you the example of the ones that has. I'm gonna give you an example of ones that have, right? Kobe Bryant and his father. Kobe Bryant surpassed his father past eons, right? But if I start naming the people that have not surpassed their parents, my point is that it's not common. Shaquille O'Neal has had kids and have kids that hoop. They have not surpassed their father. Nobody's talking about them. Doug Christie, Michael Jordan, and his son.
But did Shaquille's dad try to play basketball?
Shaquille's real dad wasn't in his life. Yeah, his stepdad was.
But this is what I'm saying. Even was his dad a person or
no? It's not.
Because that's where I would say, well, maybe Shaquille eclipsed.
When I do the examples, when I do the weigh scales, yeah, that right there. At the end of the day, there's not too many that we know of. Jaden Smith is a phenomenal artist. He has not surpassed his father.
But Denzel Washington got a son?
Huh?
Denzel Washington has a son that acts, right?
He's phenomenal.
He is. He ain't Denzel, though.
He's not Denzel. Yeah,
but in what industry are we talking? Just pure entertainment? Because there's a lot.
Entertainment.
There's a lot in sports, and there's a lot in Hollywood that have eclipsed their parents.
Yeah, and he said there are, but it's not often.
But it's not.
It's not common.
But it's not common. It's not a common conversation.
Let me ask: Are we talking about the parents that were successful or the parents that weren't?
I'm talking about
if they weren't successful, of course the kids surpassed them.
Yeah, most entertainers,
relationship dynamic.
Bro, most entertainers and athletes have at least one kid that wants to do what they do, and they are not as successful as their parent. They already have a foot in the door. They're already in the room.
Okay, but they're not. I went a little farther than I was expecting, because we are talking about the example that we're talking about is someone who has some level of success.
Yes. Yeah.
So then we can't really talk about the people who weren't successful at all.
No.
Kids eclipsing them.
So because that was the point that was being perpetuated. It's like, when I see celebrities and I see their kids beefing, I can automatically, okay, there's probably some money going on or whatever the case is, some issues, some finances. But when you look at a lot of these celebrities' kids that fell away and that did try to take the path of the parent, they were nowhere near that success.
I mean, that's what we got that show from.
So even when you said, like, she doesn't like to be called that, that's for a reason. If anything, she's probably dealing with an inner battle.
Well, that's the reason she said she didn't, either it was because it had affected her so much, or she didn't want it to be any type of reason for her getting through doors, or maybe even preventing her from getting through doors, because he wasn't the best
her own person and not live in his shadow.
He didn't have the best relationship.
Right. So if you're being accused of living in a person's shadow, wouldn't one of the best antics to do is say that this person is actually envious of me, and you keep thinking that I'm here because of that person? Because that's where my mind went.
And you want to know what's crazy?
That's where we have to spin.
That's where my mind went.
Because it's already in everyone's head that I'm Benzino.
And then peep this though.
Exactly.
And then peep this though. You said something about any criticism being taken as jealous or envious, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you think about the fact that Coileray does a lot of sexual type stuff, and she out here in skimpy outfits and all that stuff, as a father, you don't think he has something to say to her about that? And she might take that in a negative way because she wants to do her own thing. And, oh, you just jealous because I'm out here doing numbers. Well, you're doing numbers because you're showing your cheeks.
Right.
So you see what I'm saying? So
it was probably a lot of those conversations behind closed doors.
So while she's saying it's envious, it's more of a concerned father talking to his daughter. We don't know,
right?
But that makes more sense,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, you know,
right? I do think that, like I said, I do think that there's a handful of people that surpass their parents, and if we started talking about those people that's done that, most of those parents are proud. You know what I'm saying? Most of them. So what I'm seeing now is really strange to me from the time that we come from, seeing people be so vocal and so vicious and have so much vitriol for their parents publicly. You know what I mean? That's really strange to me. Yeah. We come from a time where people don't talk to their parents, but only the close circle knows about it. So I always feel like it's a form of clout chasing.
For sure.
When I see people publicly bashing their celebrity parents. Yeah. You know what I mean? Which helps me understand that maybe you're just envious because you're not filling those shoes. I even feel that way about Marcus Jordan. I think that situation is crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. Him being with Larsa Pippen. You know what I mean? It's those type of things where I'm like, because I mean, those are big shoes to fill. Jordan is your dad,
and you asked your dad to be your best man.
Yeah, like Jordan is your dad, and you didn't even fill the house shoes.
I'm not. Listen, this might be a Patreon topic, but why are you so intent on messing with Scotty? Like, did Scotty have some relations with Miss Jordan?
Man, I don't know, man, and I ain't even made the. You got me talking like Terrence Howard right now. I ain't even made the Patreon.
We're not going down none of those routes that you're pointing towards.
Because I'm trying to figure out what's the reason for you to really be this intent on messing with this man. Like, why do you want your pops as your best man?
I'm not, because honestly, like, she's whack and she's old and nah.
And he don't even approve.
He doesn't.
Jordan?
Yeah, the goat said
no.
Yeah,
of course.
He said I'm mad.
So, anyways, moving on. We're gonna.
You can't be bringing my whole work up in here.
We're gonna shift gears.
But you know what? I'm glad he did that, because the whole celebrity relationship thing, relationships period, it just seems like it's a consistent conversation on social media, and I don't understand all of these conversations that were once private, family issues, relationship shit. Like, why? From your perspective, is it such a consistent conversation every week? There's some things that it is kind of informative, like wow, but for example, Keke Palmer or Tyrese and his ex-wife, or Jada Pinkett, we already talked about that a couple episodes ago, and I can't understand, because all I know is since I've gotten married, since I've had kids and stuff like that, I've regressed. And I've said that before. I've regressed from sharing so much online. Y'all know what's going on. We talk on a regular basis. If you talk to me on a regular basis, you know what's going on. If you don't talk to me on a regular basis,
it's none of your mother.
Exactly.
But what I think it is to stay relevant. Is to stay in talks. Is to get that attention.
I was afraid of that,
because as a celebrity, right? And most of these celebrities had high points or still experiencing some. Most of them had high points, and they're close to being washed now, right? They're very much on the, latter end of their careers. So they do these things that drives traffic, brings attention, and then in certain cases, maybe they have a new movie coming out, a new book, maybe they're one last attempt at an album or something like that. So then to drive traffic and attention, right, to build up the clicks when they're getting ready to do something like that, it helps, right?
Right.
So I feel like it's an attempt to draw attention, to stay in the spotlight, to stay relevant for whatever it is that they have coming up, or because they miss it in some instance of when they were really valid and relevant, that now that they are exposing personal things because they know that it will spread like wildfire due to all of the social media outlets, news outlets, all of these things that will have you trending. If you're trending, that's attention. If you're getting attention, you can kind of capitalize off that and feed off it. It's like dopamine.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think that's my opinion, because all of the people you named aren't really relevant.
I mean, I agree with you for sure, but I also think that the reason it gets a lot more attention than other topics, if we're talking about relationships, is because I think relationships is one of the driving force, like the image and portrayal of relationships is one of the driving forces of social media.
Yeah, it is.
So
today,
no matter what social media platform was used, it's always been about relationships. So whether it was MySpace, whether it was Plenty of Fish, or the dating apps,
different type of relationship.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just talking about dating apps, and then then you have Snapchat, then you have Facebook, where everybody is talking about the relationships. Instagram is everybody's portraying their relationships.
Yeah.
It's always about. And at the end of the day, I think that's one of the most porn is the thing that drives the internet. Relationships is what drives.
Yeah, porn is in the driver's seat because that's everywhere. Like that's me and Jelani have talked about it in the past. We follow specific things and we'll go to the search and it's just like why is this here?
Yeah, you go to search on IG and
it's
if you go to my Explorer page on IG, it's cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing about
I have a whole cooking page, and it's still like, why?
All
people
type
with
of stuff, right?
All type of shit. Right?
For the and don't get me wrong, there's kicks and clothing scattered throughout, right?
Yeah,
some of the women with dresses clapping.
That's what I'm saying. Like you'll see your interest in there, and it could even be the majority, but just one couple of them here. It's just like, why is this here?
And it's always a reel.
Yeah,
it's always the real
shit.
It's like, damn it.
So let me ask you this then, right? Do you think that when these, especially with the high profile celebrities, right? Do you think that there's always a half of that relationship that's not trying to make things public and that other person does and kind of pulls them into it? So for example, say, let's take Will and Jada, for example. This isn't what happened, but I'm just going to create a scenario. Say Jada puts their stuff out there and Will's trying to be private. And now he has to speak publicly to clear facts up and things like that. Do you think that happens to a lot of entertainers, or do you think a lot of times they're both in on it in some way or some form?
Well, it all depends on the relationship and how they were operating already. Because at the end of the day, like you said, Keke Palmer and her ex-boyfriend, I don't know who her ex-boyfriend is at all.
I don't know his name. I just seen like photos and stuff.
But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a status, people aren't concerned with him in that aspect. Now you say Jada and Will Smith, they both have statuses. So if Jada says something that's private, Will's going to be out somewhere doing something at some point, and people are going to inquire and ask questions because of the status and the access to him to be able to inquire about those questions. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like Tyrese and his ex-wife. All right, we can get access to Tyrese and inquire and talk to him, but what about his ex-wife? Do you know who she is?
Samantha Lee.
Who is that?
Yeah, she's been doing some bullshit. She's been doing some bullshit, and I think that this is what I do think that happens. Like even with the Keke Palmer situation, which I don't want to speak too much on that because I don't feel like arguing with y'all today. But what I will say is that I'm convinced that a lot of celebrities, because when you look at these blog pages and they say this person filed for a restraining order, this person filed for custody of the kids.
How y'all getting that information?
They're publicists.
Yes. Oh. That's how. That's why everyone.
They're publicists.
That's why the paparazzi know where Kim and Kanye be at.
Because, bro, let me tell you something. I kept asking that same question you asked. Like, how, like, I don't even know what's going on with some of my homies and they kids. How is this happening? They're publicists. It's gonna drive traffic. It's gonna drive attention. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff works. Their publicists are sitting back saying, look, we got to get you hot. Ain't nobody talking about you. You only got 1,000 hashtags. This is what we're gonna do. And another thing, and I'm gonna just drop it with the Kiki situation, because I am not ready to argue with the feminist warriors. I think it's really strange that she does have a domestic situation on her hands, right? I don't know the details. I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go to court. I wasn't there. But they keep showing photos of video footage. We live in a time where everybody has video footage, and it's out like that. Why is there photos of video footage instead of the footage? Just, it's little things that I ask questions like that.
Screenshot with the little plates.
Yeah, because you can make that out to be whatever you, a screenshot, a text message. You can make it look however you want it to look if you're good with words,
so
right?
If you're gonna post a picture, you should have posted the video.
Yeah, and so I just think that's a little weird. Where do they get this footage from? Because if that's in somebody's, that's in her home.
Ain't no footage.
The publicist.
Once it's a crime, that footage go to police, and then that might become public information.
But even the police, it takes time. If you think about all the things that has happened with shootings, something can happen with the shooting, and the police won't release it for like months.
It be on IG though.
Yeah, but it's on IG because of people that were there, right? But when they're talking about surveillance in somebody's home.
Yeah, that's accessible right away.
You know what I mean?
They damn near can get that right away because it's a crime that's been committed.
Right.
Oh well, no, body cam. That's
but the footage that I'm talking about in this girl's home is her footage, and she has to use that as evidence. Yeah. And it's
so
already.
We ain't gonna see that.
So, and the thing about it, so what he's saying is like, all right, so this is supposed to be in your private space. In your private space,
right?
How is there footage in your private space? Right? Because I mean, like, outside of a baby cam in the kids' room and the Ring doorbell, where else do you have cameras that are recording to catch this type of stuff? So what he's saying is that it's a setup. They set it up.
It looks like that.
He and her.
However somebody did
maybe he
something.
was recording.
Yeah,
it's a setup.
Because with some footage like that, Get Out with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
It did.
The elevator, it's a public place.
True.
You see what I'm saying? We're talking about somebody's home where they lay their head, their house.
So how did they let that get out?
Yeah, so between the footage going out and restraining orders and everything else, I'm just convinced when we hear stuff from celebrities, it's just their publicists, somebody on, whether it's the man or the woman's side.
I see what you're saying.
The publicist, because even for an example, like with Jeezy and his ex-wife, right? There's already songs on this. Is it a double disc album? Pretty much.
You asking the wrong
There's
guy.
songs about the relationship,
it's a lot.
and right now they're going through a divorce and like prenup. And so now I'm just looking at everything, and I know we're not supposed to believe social media. You know what I mean? We're not. But just for the people that the comment warriors and stuff like that, people got to start using their mind and understanding that these are antics. The relationships and all of the drama, they're antics. It's to keep the name hot. It's to keep the energy going. Because people that's really experiencing relationship drama and trauma, they don't want to talk about it. They want to get as far as hell away from it as possible.
That's true.
Not go on campaigns, going on tours and interviews and repeating the same conversations, highlighting the same things. I feel sorry for Jada's book because now people are connecting dots and exposing certain things that she said happened with Pac that didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that.
You see that?
I ain't hit. What happened?
About her proposing?
We'll
about her.
We'll talk about that off camera. We're not giving no more credit.
Yeah.
We're not giving any more attention to the nonsense. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
We're not. If you want to find out about it, go search the internet. It's everywhere. But we're not going to do it here.
Or listen to my recent EP.
Shameless plug.
Nah, but they crazy.
I'm not. Nope.
Yeah, they crazy, man. But just for the people that's watching, man, when you guys get online, man, don't believe the stuff that you see online like that, because it's not what you think, man. They getting paid off of you. They getting paid off of your views. They getting paid off of your comments. They collecting.
Like clickbait, and like I said, to drive numbers, attention. You know what I'm saying? They stay hot. stay relevant or become hot, become trending. Like a lot of the stuff when you do, due diligence, when you do your research, when you dig deeper, you start to find that a lot of things are false and you know what I'm saying, orchestrated and mapped out, and so you have to be willing to do that extra work. That's the thing though, nobody's really willing to do the research on a lot of stuff. They just go with what they see, they follow, and they go from like one gossip blog to another blog to something else on IG, and then you know what I'm saying, and instead of actually like, you know what, because I done Googled some stuff, and I was like, I thought so.
But you know what, to give credit to people that do try to look, which is not many, it is hard to find what sites have the concrete actual facts, because there's so many more. There's more blog sites than there is real news, and even the real, what we was considered real news stations, they all say the same thing. You know what I mean?
I got a sixth sense for research. I don't know how I be doing it, but
I don't either. I'm trying to get there.
I be finding. Oh, bro, I
tell the bullshit.
Man, my research skills are top tier.
I'm trying to get on the level, bro, because you got the research, you got nature gonna tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Who, Nature?
You, nature, man. You gonna go out there.
She ain't gonna tell you the truth.
You gonna go out there in that garden. Poe gonna go out there in that garden and put his hands up, and that energy gonna come like a spirit bomb.
Yeah, he gonna take off.
Gonna be like,
he gonna take off his socks and get grounded, and it's gonna all just
in a matter of 5 minutes, he gonna be like, they lying. Yeah,
I love that y'all gave me that. But niggas just
you a meta-human, bro.
Niggas just totally disregarded that I actually have degrees in journalism. Like niggas just said, "Nah, he gonna be outside somewhere in the trees and shit, man."
Nah, you do. No. Hold on.
Like, hold on. You got degrees in journalism.
Yeah, I am not gonna downplay my bro. He does have a degree in journalism.
I too,
and
man.
my bad. He has 2 deodorant degrees in journalism. I was at his graduation in Sac State because him and my sister-in-law graduated at the same time. That means alpha.
That's
the alpha.
Up,
that means alpha phi alpha.
Said stingers up. That's
California.
Jet Life. This fool.
You throwing out the honey.
Oh, he just threw up Jet Life. All right, we finna fly out on that note.
Hey, Paul, go ahead and take us away, man.
This has been brought to you by your favorites.
Yo, thanks for tapping in. We appreciate y'all listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, you feel me? Comment, IG, YouTube. Make sure you stay tapped in. I'm your host, Jelani Evans, with my guys.
It's Farmer Poe.
And Dizzy D Spill. Thank you for saving us, bro, because Poe is about to...
Good,
wow, bro.
Y'all enjoy, man.
Wow.
Peace.
My man just going to take it to the... Wow. We out.